Ibrahim Traore's greatest weakness was his family. His enemies knew this. His 14-year-old sister, Aminata, disappeared one day while walking home from middle school in Ouagadougou. Security cameras had been hacked. Guards had been drugged. When he found her in Europe's darkest corners, he faced not just human traffickers, but the system that exploited his own country. And this time, the war would be fought not only in Burkina Faso, but on the streets of Paris. At 3:30 p.m. that afternoon, everything was normal. 14-year-old Ibrahim Traoré had just left Imam Malik Middle School in Ouagadougou's safest neighborhood under the scorching African sun. She had her school bag over her shoulder, clutching her math book tightly. "We have an exam tomorrow," she said with a smile to her friend Fatima. "My brother will help me study as always." She would take the 15-minute walk home. Safe streets, familiar faces, the same route every day. But Aminata never made it home that evening. At 4:45 p.m. President Ibrahim Traoré's mother, Mariam, was calling with trembling hands. "Aminata hasn't come home yet," she said in panic. "She's always home by 4:30, and she's not answering her phone." Ibrahim Traoré was in a meeting with the defense minister at the time. When he heard the fear in his mother's voice, his heart stopped. "Call Mamadou. Emergency protocol now," he said, abandoning the meeting. The search operation that began at 6 p.m. revealed a terrifying truth. The school's security cameras had stopped working after 3:25 p.m. due to technical failure. All the cameras on Aminata's route home had also malfunctioned at the same time. "This is professional work," said Security Chief Mamadou, showing the blank footage on his tablet screen. The system was hacked in a coordinated manner. "Where was the security team?" Traoré asked, glacial fury in his voice. "Two guards were following her from a distance. We found them both drugged. Professional job." At that moment, Traoré understood this wasn't an ordinary kidnapping. This was a political operation organized against him. But no one yet knew how big Traoré's real plan would be. The first 3 days passed in silence. No ransom demand came. No news leaked to the media. A 14-year-old girl had seemingly vanished from the face of the earth. In the darkness of the fourth night, Traoré's private phone rang. 2:30 a.m. Number blocked. "Yes," said Traoré with sleepless eyes. "Hello," Ibrahim said, a cold voice. He was speaking French, having sleepless nights. Traoré's entire body tensed. "Who are you?" "I'm not important. What's important is your sister staying alive." "What do you want?" "Very simple. Reverse the gold mine nationalization decree you signed last month. Cancel the uranium deal with China and stop your revolutionary games with Africa's resources." Cracking sounds came from Traoré's fingers. "What if I refuse?" "Then your sister will be very successful in her new job in Amsterdam. 14 years old, very sought-after profile." The voice was so cold-blooded that Traoré's blood froze. "I'm giving you 72 hours. Think about it." The line went dead. "Share this story with your friends. This is a truth every parent needs to know. Everyone should know these people." Traoré put the phone on the table, holding his head in his hands. For the first time, he felt this helpless. But then that familiar rage began to boil inside him. "No," he murmured. "This time, I'm hunting them." That night, Traoré didn't sleep at all. He called his trusted team for an emergency meeting. Security Chief Mamadou, Intelligence Chief Khanate, and most importantly, Burkina Faso's 28-year-old cyber warfare expert, Sarah Kamar. "They think my weak point is my family," said Traoré, his eyes bloodshot, but determined. "But they're wrong. By attacking my family's child, they don't realize they've attacked all of Africa's children. This will be their biggest mistake." Sarah Kamar opened her laptop. She had trained at MIT and joined Traoré's team when she returned to Burkina Faso. "Sir, I analyzed that phone conversation. The voice was routed through 7 different countries via the Tor network, but the actual signal came from Switzerland. But the Amsterdam reference is intentional. They want to direct us there," Switzerland, said Khanate. "Banking center, where money can't be traced, and we have worse news," added Medu. "In the last 2 years, 73 young girls from Burkina Faso have disappeared after obtaining student visas. Average age is 15. Traore slammed his fist on the table. This isn't just about Aminata anymore. What they didn't expect was that this operation was just the beginning. On the 5th day, Traore made an unexpected move. When making a statement on national television, he ignored diplomatic protocols. "My dear citizens," he said, looking into the camera, "my 14-year-old sister Aminata has been missing for 5 days, and now I know where she is." The world press was shocked. Such situations were usually kept secret. "Those who kidnapped Aminata did this to make me abandon my economic independence policies. They are forces that want to control Africa's resources." Traore's voice grew increasingly harsh. "But let them know this. With this attack, they didn't just target one family. They targeted all of Africa's children, and I'm going to make them pay for this." Those targeting him expected him to make mistakes in anger, to conduct secret operations, use military force, threaten his enemies. But Traore did the opposite. By speaking openly on television, he brought the situation to world public opinion. They could no longer stay hidden. Everyone was watching them. After that speech, a wave of support began across Africa. The hashtag Arzave Aminata became trending worldwide. Tell us in the comments, what would you do if you were in his position? Sarah Kamar and her team, working day and night, had realized that the Switzerland signal was actually a redirect to Amsterdam. The real target was an old building in Amsterdam's Wales district. "Sir," said Sarah, showing satellite images, "this building is actually part of a complex. The lower floors are connected to each other. We've detected at least 4,050 people inside with thermal cameras. What about security? Professional, but we have an advantage. No one expects Burkina Faso to conduct an operation in Amsterdam." Traore took a deep breath. "We'll rescue not just my sister, but all the girls." That evening, Traore made surprise phone calls. He called Ghana's president, Akufo-Addo. "Brother," said Traore, "you have missing children files too, don't you?" "What do you mean, Ibrahim? We're conducting an operation in Amsterdam, not just for Aminata, but for all of Africa's children." Akufo-Addo thought in silence. "What can I do?" "6 men from your special forces. Covert support." "Okay." He had the same conversation with the leaders of Mali and Senegal. No one refused because this was no longer just Burkina Faso's problem. What they would learn in 48 hours would shock everyone. The Amsterdam operation began on the 6th night. But this wasn't like Hollywood movies. This was a carefully planned intelligence operation. 18 Special Forces soldiers from 4 different African countries had come to Amsterdam as tourists. Sarah Kamar's cyber team had disabled the building's security system. The operation began at 3:02 a.m. Alpha Team, rear entrance secure. Bravo Team, side clear. Charlie Team, main target in sight. Traore was listening to the operation on a secure line in Ouagadougou. His heart was beating wildly. Entering target building. Silence. 5 minutes. Alpha Team to center. First floor cleared. 12 girls found. Bravo Team to center. 8 more girls in the basement. Charlie Team. Charlie Team. Aminata found. Healthy. Tears flowed from Traore's eyes. But the operation wasn't over yet. Center to all teams. Found low-level operators and local crime organization members. But Sarah's financial traces show much bigger names. When the world woke up that morning, everything had changed. 47 young girls had been rescued in Amsterdam. 23 human traffickers had been captured. And the documents Sarah Kamar had obtained revealed the real forces behind the operation. Don't forget to subscribe. Traore met Aminata at the airport. The 14-year-old girl was sobbing in her brother's arms. "I was scared, big brother." Aminata whispered, "But I knew you would come." "I will never leave you alone again," said Traore. But this wasn't just a personal reunion. The world media was watching everything. "I didn't just rescue my sister," said Traore in front of the cameras, holding Aminata's hand. "I rescued 47 other Famil families' children, too. And I showed the world that those who touch Africa's children will be held accountable." He showed the documents in his hand. "The documents we obtained in this operation reveal how the system works," which companies provide financing, which banks launder money, which networks provide protection. After the operation, a major scandal erupted in Europe. Human trafficking investigations began in the Netherlands. Resignation debates emerged in France and Belgium. But Traore's real goal was bigger. With this operation, we didn't just rescue our children, he said at the African Union Summit. We showed the world how Africa is exploited. They steal our children because they want to steal our resources, too. From that summit came the African Child Protection Pact. 32 countries signed it. 3 months later, Aminata returned to normal. She went to school, played with her friends, but she was no longer an ordinary child. She had become a symbol of Africa's resistance. People call me the rescued girl, Aminata said in an interview. But I'm not just rescued. I'm a protected girl because my brother made all of Africa my family. 6 months later, the Aminata Foundation was established to find missing children and prevent human trafficking. 54 African countries supported it. A year later, Traore spoke at the UN. We are building a world where those who touch our children will be held accountable. Today, Aminata is 16 years old. She studies mathematics, dreams of going to MIT, but she also represents hope because sometimes the darkest moments give birth to the brightest changes. His enemies had awakened Traore's greatest strength by targeting what they thought was his weakness, an African father's determination to protect his child. And that strength had changed the entire continent.